What Bill Gates just said about Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse is shocking. Mark Zuckerberg has never failed to be under the spotlight, and now with the metaverse, there hasn't been a single day since it hasn't been the subject of some sort of controversy. Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, has recently made remarks regarding the metaverse that left audiences in shock. What does Bill Gates really think about the metaverse? Do other tech giants share the same opinion as him? Are they optimistic, or do they see it as a mistake that will cause more harm than good? If you're as curious as we are, keep watching to find out. Hello everyone, welcome back to your favorite channel, Metaverse Area, where we entertain you with new updates about the metaverse and what exactly the future holds for us. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that little bell icon right there for more updates. That being said, let's begin. The metaverse has never been a new concept. It has always been something having a very low-key existence. But everything changed in 2021 thanks to Mark Zuckerberg, who finally made this concept and digital space mainstream by adopting the creation of a computer-generated 3D digital space. He even went so far as to change the name of his entire company from Facebook to Meta, demonstrating how committed he is to this new project, on which he is betting his entire company's future. He also discussed how he is getting ready to launch a new chapter of the internet as well as his company. Even though Mark is very clear about what exactly this metaverse is and how exactly it would look like, people are finding it difficult to understand. A digital space to do everything we do in real life? Can that even happen? Wouldn't it be harmful? Are just some of the questions arising in almost everyone's mind, making it also a major reason for the creation of numerous controversies and buzz around this term itself. However, over time, Mark has made a concerted effort to clarify certain aspects of a metaverse, and how it would function while prioritizing both safety and security. Certain metaverse news and updates are released on a regular basis to avoid confusion amongst the general public. The concept has grown in popularity to the point where many other major corporations are talking about it and even adopting it. While there are some who are targeting this concept, now it appears that Microsoft's co-founder, Bill Gates, has come out in support of Mark, albeit not directly, as he recently discussed the future of this metaverse in a very positive light. Which is not surprising given that Microsoft itself also has been working on similar projects for quite some time now. In a year-end post on Gates' personal blog, the Microsoft co-founder made a prediction about the future of work and how it might be altered by the rise of the metaverse. The virtual worlds being built by tech companies such as Meta, formerly Facebook, and Microsoft, in which users will be able to work, play and socialize. Every year, Gates publishes a personal blog in which he describes how he saw the previous year, the major tech turning points, and how the coming year will be. In this year's blog, Gates discussed some crucial issues such as the metaverse's future, COVID-19 misinformation, and a container ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal earlier. However, he devoted a large portion of the post to the importance of staying connected in difficult times, writing, "We've all had to adjust to a new normal. Though what that means differs from person to person, the result has been a year spent primarily online for me." Bill Gates reflected on the past year, which he described as one of the most difficult and unusual ones due to the global pandemic. In his entire blog, he also mentioned how meetings would look in the next 2 to 3 years, when everything would be completely moved to a digital space inside a metaverse. After discussing how the pandemic has revolutionized working at home for office-based staff, he goes on to say that he's really interested in knowing how technology can create more spontaneity with remote work moving forward, and that he expects most of the office digitization put in place to be completed by the end of the next few years. Gates also claimed that within the next 2 or 3 years, most virtual meetings will move from 2D camera image grids, which he described as the Hollywood Squares model, to the metaverse, a 3D space with digital avatars. According to Gates, the COVID-19 pandemic has already revolutionized the workplace into a digital workplace, with more companies than ever offering flexibility to employees to work either from their homes or from the workplace. Those changes will only accelerate in the coming years, Gates writes, adding that remote work will literally pull more people to join the metaverse. Bill Gates mentioned that office meetings would be permanently relocated to metaverse, and that too for good. He stated that such a shift would encourage the world to literally move toward a complete digital revolution, which would be super beneficial. According to Gates, people would be able to hold virtual meetings in a virtual space with their own virtual avatars present. Motion capture and spatial audio would make the technology for this possible. Gates went on to explain how using Zoom and Teams would be fundamentally different from using digital space avatars. Most video conferencing platforms, such as Zoom or Microsoft's Teams, currently provide that two-dimensional grid view as described by Gates, which he also compared to the game show Hollywood Squares. Meanwhile, in the metaverse, you'd have a 3D avatar that could attend meetings in a virtual office space or other location and interact with the avatars of your co-workers, he quoted. The idea is that you'll eventually use your avatar to meet with people in a virtual space that feels like you're in the same room with them, Gates writes. However, Gates says that users will need to use virtual reality headsets or goggles to do so. Although he did not elaborate on the headsets and goggles issue, Gates did admit that expensive tech devices such as VR headset and possibly motion capture gloves will be required to accurately capture your expressions, body language, and the quality of your voice. And it is worth noting that wearing headsets and goggles can be hazardous to one's health, and they are not cheap to purchase, which may pose another major issue for the metaverse. Of course, Gates also acknowledged that his vision for a virtual workplace in the metaverse will take time and willingness on the part of users and their employers. There's still some work to be done, he says, but it won't be long before the metaverse makes the remote work feel a little less remote. We're getting close to the point where technology can truly replicate the natural experience of working together, he writes in his blog post. The philanthropist and Microsoft's co-founder not only expressed his excitement about how an increasingly digitally dependent future will affect the ways we work, learn, socialize, and even visit the doctor's office, but he also expressed his concern over how an increasingly digital future will affect the way we do things our regular lives. The fact that Bill Gates' company, Microsoft, is currently heavily focused on developing a number of similar things entirely related to the metaverse is surprising among all of this. According to reports, Microsoft has partnered with Meta to give their individual but similar goals a single direction, also making up one of the reasons why he dedicated a good part of his personal blog to the metaverse concept. Microsoft is also working on adding 3D avatars and other metaverse-friendly elements to its Teams workplace software. According to Bill Gates, Teams may even have a direct path to the metaverse. In fact, Microsoft announced its future project, Mesh, in November, which aims to create a similar digital office space for workers. Other future projects entirely focused on the digital revolution via metaverse would be interesting to see. Regardless of how much buzz the metaverse has generated over time, it is still difficult to predict whether a digital space would be a boon or a curse for the entire planet. Whatever Gates said about meetings taking place inside a virtual room with virtual people is true and a feasible option. As much as we'd like to turn off our webcams forever, 3 years is still a very short time for most large office-based businesses to adopt such a modern concept. Well, it seems like we still have to wait to witness such a revolution taking place. That's it for the day, guys. We hope that this video was up to your standards regarding metaverse-related information. If you enjoyed our video, then do not forget to hit the like button. Also, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so that the next time we come up with more interesting metaverse stuff, you get notified right away. And we'll see you in the next one.